A quintessential American woman recently did a collaboration with a quintessential American brand. Levi's partnered up with Beyoncé for an ad campaign named Reimagine. The ad campaign features her song Levi's Jeans from the Cowboy Carter album. Around the World Girls singer reconceptualized the brand's iconic ads with her female lens in the hopes to introduce these commercials to the new generation, while increasing its women's customers. Indeed, the three ads she was inspired by, the protagonists were male, the men were the focus, and were even made objects of desire. Beyoncé didn't only focus the ads on her perspective as a woman, but as a singer also, which is why there are so many references in these ads that tie to her album and to the history she wants people to know or to not forget. The songs that were played on the old Levi's ads were mostly rock, country, blues, and southern soul. The product she is promoting is Levi's 501 jeans, even though the number stands for the lot number used by Levi's for those particular jeans. However, 501 could also mean the Little Rock telephone area code, which reminds me of Little Rock 9, which was the inspiration for the song Blackbird by Paul McCartney from the Beatles, an English rock band. Beyoncé did the cover of that song on her album with rising country stars such as Britney Spencer. Britney Spencer is a country music gatekeeper in the making. The jeans are also known to have patches with two horse logo on it, which reminds me of the horse on the cover of Beyoncé Renaissance album and the horse on the Cowboy Carter album. In the first chapter, laundrette inspired by the 1985 commercial. In it, you can see fine tailoring by Uncle Johnny, custom denim repairs and alterations poster, which is a reference to Uncle Johnny, made my dress, in the song Heated from the Renaissance album. Indeed, her uncle helped design some of her costumes early on in her singing career. In the laundromat, there is a golden fan, which was a foreshadow that the fan's Cowboy Carter tour stage would be gold. Even her dancers and her wore gold, which are also a nod to her C'est Lumière perfume. I'm going to deep dive more into the significance of gold later on. In Beyoncé's reimagined version, there is a dark-haired guy who kind of looks like the guy in the 1985 commercial. I think it's not a coincidence that the model's name is also Levi in the 2024 version. He is also the son of a member of a rock band and the grandson of Bob Dylan, who is a folk singer who also did blues, rock, gospel, and country, which are all music genre invented by Ados. You can also see twin sisters Keimani Sene Brown and Madison Sonne Brown, which refers to the album Cowboy Carter being the second act. Their duo name being the Rockstar Twins, which refers to Act 3 being rock. They are wearing shorts, which is going to be present in the following chapters. Brown striped polo shirt, which makes me think there's going to be an ad around someone with a preppy look. And the twins also have red hair, just like Beyoncé's dancer in the Cowboy Carter tour, which tells me Beyoncé for Act 3 is going to have red hair. Indeed, in the Renaissance tour, the dancers had platinum blonde hair, which is a reference to Khaleesi from Game of Thrones. The red hair is a reference to when Levi's products became so popular that other companies started making blue jeans, which led to Levi's needing something to differentiate themselves with. They used the now famous red tab. Just how there are so many singers with a blonde signature hairstyle, Beyoncé still somehow made her blonde signature hairstyle so specific to her that it cannot be replicated, even though in the ad she made a reference to how the tech industry are trying to make copycat art using AI. In the same ad, she announced that she was running for Beyoncé of the United States, which refers to the USA being a country where people run for president, while a country with a monarchy is royal members such as Prince Harry was born as Prince Henry of Wales, the country Wales, and that title made him the heir to the British throne, so no last name, just how Beyoncé's ancestors' African last name was erased, but not for the same reasons. However, even before that, in the Spirit music video, where she sings about coming back home in the gospel ballad, she wore her hair red. So did her daughter. And her dancers, which is again a foreshadow to the Cowboy Carter tour, dances hair in her Act 3 hair, but also Act 3 rock and roll might be mixed with rhythm and blues, jazz and gospel, just like Sister Rosetta Tharpe did, and gospel blues, just like Mahalia Jackson did. For Beyoncé personally, the song Spirit might mean returning to the motherland, allowed her to explore her roots beyond the US borders, which helped her redefine her American identity. Indeed, even though she personally didn't inherit any specific memory or history from Africa, she discovered there's at least one piece of African heritage that stayed and was passed on, which is the banjo, an African instrument which is the pillar of country music, an American genre. So, learning from the past led her to claim country music throne that rightfully belongs to her, basically making lemonade out of lemons. Beyoncé being a global icon while claiming her American identity in a way that is authentic to her family history makes her the face of the US, thus the face of the Americana lifestyle. So does the people who share the same cultural background as her. In the laundromat, she takes off her Levi's belt, which has 1 star on it. It reminds me of the star in the Cowboy Carter tour stage, which refers to the star during the Beyoncé Bowl performance, which refers to the 1 star put after Smoke Hour and before Willie Nelson in the title of the Smoke Hour interlude, where he is the host of the Smoke Hour radio show on the radio station KNTRY Radio Texas. Instead of paper bag full of stones, which the male model had in 1985 laundrette commercial, Beyoncé poured a bucket full of diamonds in the washing machine. In the 2024 version inspired by the 1991 ad pool hall commercial, there is a rack made from wood shaped in equilateral triangle. It is a tool which can also be made in metal or plastic, which is used to put the billiard balls in their starting position at the beginning of a pool game. Reminds me of the triangle entrance on the Cowboy Carter stage. In the same chapter, her jean jacket and pants came out bedazzled, which is a reminder of the Renaissance album What Were the Ultimate American Uniform, which is a denim on denim look worn by cowboys, workers, musicians, rebels, young people to reconstruct the US. This time there's a red pan, a red cloth. There are 2 stars, one bedazzled on her pants, the other is red in the background. And there's a cowboy boot-shaped green neon sign. The chapter 2 also features actor Timothy Olyphant, the descendant of Cornelius Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt became a prominent family during the Gilded Age, 1860s to 1890s, which is now old money, but in his time he was considered new money because he worked to have it instead of inheriting it. Indeed, he made his fortune in the shipping and railroad industry. The company Levi's even started in 1853 and very much benefited from workers who were rebuilding their country wearing their products, while in the South, the Reconstruction era, which began in 1865 and lasted until 1877, didn't benefit everyone, especially not the community who was promised to receive a compensation for what they endured. So unlike the members of the Vanderbilt family, so descendants, the community who was owed something didn't even have the chance to squander whatever money they were supposed to get. The other reason why Timothy Olyphant is present is because he played a cowboy hat wearing Deputy U.S. Marshal Raven, who comes back to his hometown in the show Justified, which is a neo-western crime drama. The story is set around the Appalachian Mountains, which reminds me of how the current gatekeepers literally hijacked the term country music. Indeed, before 1958, only the people who looked like DeFord Bailey was country music. These people were not. Indeed, they added in 1968 the word country on a hillbilly music album, which was from 1946. By the way, Ingenue Ellis Taylor plays his love interest Caroline in Justified City Primeval. The pool hall chapter reminded me of the specific Cadillac Records movie scene, not only because it was a pool hall scene, but the way it was filmed and the star in the background. The movie was about Etta James sang blues, jazz, R&B, and rock. and Oral, and she performed in the Chitlin Circuit, which was a group of performance venue in the 1940s and 1960s. Chitlin Circuit also refers to the Cowboy Carter Tour's full name, which is Cowboy Carter and the Rodeo Chitlin Circuit Tour. The Reconstruction era failing led to the Segregation era, which led to the Chitlin Circuit. The only non-concert film movie Beyoncé produced was Cadillac Records. Timothy Olyphant and Levi Dillon don't work in the family business. Timothy created his own path in acting and Levi in modeling, just how Beyoncé created her own path as a singer and record label owner. But after gaining success, she came back to fashion to continue her Uncle Johnny's and seamstress maternal grandmother Agnes Darian's legacy, her father Sir Matthew Knowles' legacy with her management company, her mother Tina Knowles' legacy in the hair industry, a paternal great-grandfather Sir Davis Hogue's legacy in the exclusive alcohol industry. She created her legacy as an artist and a businesswoman with her perfumes, her hair brand Sacred, her whiskey brand Sir Davis, and Parkwood, an entertainment company, possibly to produce movies, her usual music videos or concert films, but specifically a Western movie where the main character who's on the run is Cowboy Carter or Beyoncé, which is the correct spelling of her mother's maiden name, played by Beyoncé herself. I'm going to explain more about why I think that later on. The refrigerator chapter was inspired by the 1988 commercial named Fridge. In Beyoncé's version, her song Levi's Jeans is played on the radio, which is a reference to the KNTRY Radio Texas 100,000 watts of healing power in her country-inspired album, which also is reference to KNTY 4 News from the Renaissance Tour and her favorite number being 4 in her album called 4. The diner is in blue, more specifically hint blue, to ward off and repel evil spirit, which is a southern folklore color in order to protect homes, and in this case the diner, which also might refer to some owners living above their business. Willie Jones, a country star who featured in her song Just for Fun, my Cowboy Carter album, also made a cameo in the refrigerator ad. He made his debut wearing in his X Factor US audition a tie-dye sleeveless jean vest with the US flag on his back, a blue flannel tightened around his waist, US flag bandana in his front pocket like he would do for a handkerchief, and a high top fade with designs on the side. He was also wearing Jordans, which has been a staple for people who share the same cultural background as him. In the ad, he was wearing a jean apron, white jean shirt, jeans with brown cowboy boots, and had his hair in cornrows, which is a reference to her song Spaghetti in her Cowboy Carter album. There's a fan again, but this time a blue fan, which is a 1950s Zero fan with the logo in red. Her outfit at the diner is inspired by the woman from the American War II wartime poster We Can Do It, whose supposed goal was to be an image that inspires female workers to work, which reminds me of 2008 when Barack Obama made his slogan for his presidential campaign, Yes We Can. Beyoncé took a denim shirt with western color tips out of the refrigerator after her shift ended. Her pen stays behind her ear, which some waitress do after writing a customer's order, but instead of showing off her muscle like the woman did in the poster, Beyoncé is flexing her song playing on the radio, and her art was metaphorically done by the pen behind her ear. The ad looks like it was set in the 1950s, especially with the fan. However, the radio looks like 1940s radio. On the open closed door sign is written Please Call Again, in reference to her song and music video Telephone featuring Lady Gaga, and Lady Gaga mentioned that there's going to be a part 2 in her press Spotify conference. Her name, Honeybee, in the Telephone music video, or Miss Honeybee in the Dolly P interlude, is a reference to the character nicknamed Honey Bunny from a crime film with a redhead. With her rapping on the telephone song makes me think that the rock album will also be mixed with rap. I think there's going to be more chapters, maybe 6, because of the 6 stars in the title card. The sandwich menu board might be a reference to the Telephone music video with the sequence title, Let's Make a Sandwich. The next chapter is going to be called Beast Combo, which is written on the sandwiches menu above laundrette, which cost $85, but really it stands for the year of the ad, 1985, refrigerator for 1988, and pool hall for 1991. Bee's combo is going to be inspired by an ad made before 1985 in my opinion. When it comes to the revolution, Beyoncé is operating with love, which she sang about in My House from the Renaissance album, and which also reminds me of the Levi's Summer of Love ad, an anti-war and free love social movement during the summer of 1967 in San Francisco, where Levi's was created. People present even recorded radio adverts for the brand, which reminds me again of COWBOY being broadcast by a Texan radio station with a radio DJ Dolly P and host Linda Martell of the Linda Martell Show, which I'm going to assume is a live music radio broadcast which showcases artists performing all genres. The radio station called KUK was playing in the telephone music video. From the Dolly P interlude, I think Beyonce's radio DJ name or the name of the station will be Honeybee in the movie she's making, or in real life if she's decided to buy a radio station or an audio entertainment company. I also would not be surprised if she makes a HBCU inspired Levi's jean ad. So I believe there will be more Levi's chapter, or at least a continuation of the refrigerator chapter for Act 3 rock album, a motorcycle, just like she was on the British Vogue. While the male model left the establishment on a motorcycle, we didn't get to see what was her mode of transportation. The motorcycle reminds me of rock and roll, so I believe one chapter would be inspired by the queen of rock and roll, Tina's What's Love Got to Do With It music video, which was released in 1984. The music video was set in London. In it, she wore a jean jacket with a leather dress. She had her signature honey blonde hair. She was 44 at the time. Beyoncé is going to be 44 this year. Just like Sir Davis last year, she will release a product related to her family's legacy on her birthday, a new perfume in copper called C'est Rouge or C'est Bronze, in reference to Levi's patent copper rivets on back pockets. And Act 3 might be released on May 2026 because Tina's single What's Love Got to Do With It came out in May. The name of the newspaper Beyoncé is reading in the laundrette chapter is the Red Tab, which refers to Levi's Red Tab, and red meaning the red present in the film industry, such as the red carpet, the movie theater seats. On the same newspaper, there's an article titled Manhunt Follows a Tale of Deceit and Desperation. The meaning of Manhunt, that I think will align with the movie, which showcases all three acts, is an organized research for an enemy, and in this case Carter is considered the enemy because she's a rebel who doesn't conform to the idea that an artist needs to stay in one lane. In the first chapter, there was also an Easter egg of what the second chapter will be about, with the leading story on the front cover of the newspaper being about a pool shark, which is a skilled billiards player who pretends to be bad at it in order to win bets, which reminds me of the movie Roadhouse, where the actress Jessica Williams plays the owner of a roadhouse. I believe Beyonce's character was trying to deceive Timothy Olyphant's character, Deputy U.S. Marshal, and probably a long line of people in Texas, or he was already sent to Texas to deal with her. There's a leather wallet in her back pocket, which might be a reference to the rock album, which is why she wore a leather outfit for the iHeart Music Awards show. I think she's also going to make Olympics-related ads with Levi's, which the brand did in 1984 for 1984 Olympic Games. There's one particular one that reminds me of Renaissance. I will not be surprised that Beyoncé will be performing for the 2028 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles ceremony, which is why she presented the athletes of Team USA for the 2024 Paris Olympics Games in COWBOY inspired outfits. Other reasons which makes me think that she's going to make a movie is that the commercials she was inspired by were also called mini film. Some people featured in her ads have connections to the Hollywood industry. Gold being present refers to the California Gold Rush. Levi Strauss founded his company in California during the Gold Rush, which led to the golden age of Hollywood. The name of the perfume, C'est Lumière, refers to the earliest filmmakers, Les Lumière brothers, which also explains why. The first perfume was called Saint Noir in honor of a particular movie style called film noir, which is a Hollywood crime drama film in black and white. From the new Western science fiction horror film Nope, I found out that the jockey's name in the first motion picture shot in 1878 is unknown, which is why women like Lucille Ball in 1920s, Mary Tyler Moore in 1950s, and Marlo Thomas in 1960s were able to have much more authority in their career by becoming executive producer thanks to the men in their lives, while Diane Carroll in 1968 wasn't even given the opportunity to produce her own show. Not even an episode. Julia, whose character was dealing with much more serious stuff than the lead characters in I Love Lucy, Mary Tyler Moore Show, and That Girl. If the first Hollywood movie star was named, there will be much more mainstays of acting in Hollywood or family-owned companies where the owners are sixth-generation Hollywood business owners that look like the first ever Hollywood actor. It wouldn't have taken until 1992, so 114 years later, for a woman who shared the same cultural background as the first ever actor and stuntman to be lead in a movie, and that woman was Whitney Houston. However, she had to use her stardom gained in music to be trusted to fill the seats in movie theaters, and Kevin Costner as her advocate, who produced the Bodyguard movie, which led Whitney to become a decision maker herself with her own film production company. Just how country's gatekeepers weren't even the founders or pioneer in the music genre, it seems like it was the same for the film industry. More women who looked like Whitney Houston, Shonda Rhimes, Quinta Brunson, and Marcy Martin could have been behind and in front of cameras, specifically as lead, long time ago. First Carter family in country music is actually Beyoncé Knowles Carter. Indeed, Beyoncé and her husband Jay-Z made Carter a household name not only in the US but also internationally. And their dynasty is in the making, with their daughter Blue Ivy Carter already being a professional dancer during the Renaissance tour and now the Cowboy Carter tour. Rumi and Blue Ivy Carter being Grammy Award winners. With Film Dynasty comes multiple families who have been established in the entertainment industry for centuries, and the members of that dynasty also inherit a guide and tools to maintain and succeed in their specific industry, which include experience, knowledge, connections, and credibility gained over multiple generations. One family acting roots can be traced in the mid-1800s on a stage in a whole other continent, and their descendant still works in the industry. She is 7th generation actress, and her ancestors must be proud she leveled up to a production company co-owner, and that woman is Drew Barrymore. Beyoncé wore a white cowboy hat at the Grammys 2024 in the Beyoncé Bowl video teasers and performance, specifically during 16 Carriages, Blackbirds, Jolene, and Texas Hold'em. Everyone who performed, who were on the field except for the singer in Levi's jeans, wore white cowboy hats. It reminds me of the character Olivia Pope in Scandal, who physically and metaphorically wore a white hat, which represents justice. Beyoncé's halftime show took place in her hometown Houston, which is a wink at the Spirit song from The Lion King. After exploration of her identity outside of the US through her album The Gift, she came back home. In Western 30s and 40s movies, the bad guys usually wore black cowboy hats, while the good guys wore white cowboy hats. However, Beyoncé has also worn a black cowboy hat in one of the 4 Beyoncé Bowl video teasers, the iHeartRadio Music Awards show, where she mentioned rock pioneers in her acceptance speech, which are other signs that show that Act 3 is in fact a rock. She wore both black and white cowboy hats, which refers to the movie genre spaghetti western. The good guy can also wear a black cowboy hat, which reminds me of her song Spaghetti. By the way, I believe the self-titled album is the motto of Cowboy Carter, Renaissance, and Act 3 Rock, which is also going to include a black background, a horse, but this time a black horse, which I believe is going to be an American Sugarbush Harley Quinn draft horse called Harley the Magnificent, named after the motorcycle company Harley Davidson. Indeed, the white horse on the official Act 2 album has turned black, with Beyoncé having red hair. She's going back in time. Indeed, Linda Martell started her music career in 1960s, while the godmother of rock and roll, Sister Rosetta Tharpe, started her career in 1910s. Unsurprisingly, just how country music's originators aren't the gatekeepers is the same for rock, which is why so many women like Sister Rosetta Tharpe's contribution and pioneering have gone overlooked for far too long. Since Levi's and Beyoncé made a shirt inspired by Levi's America's Finest since 1850 ad made in the 1950s, I think there is going to be a scene that looks like that in the movie. There are some familiar faces such as Rayland, aka Timothy Oliphant, and the Rockstar twins on American Sugarbush Harlequin draft horses. 5 redheaded women. Is that supposed to be a Great Dane? Which might be a reference to the telephone music video. A bull skeleton head, which refers to her riding a golden bull on the Cowboy Carter tour. Her song Sweet Honey Buckin', which is a reference to Sugar Mama music video, which refers to bucking bull, which is riding a bucking bull. There's also a purple and blue bird on the top of the bar, and by Levi's America's Finest sign, there is the bucket full of diamonds, which makes me think there's going to be a scene taking place in a diamond mine in Arkansas, and Uncle Sam is the nickname for the largest diamond ever discovered in the United States. It was found in 1924 in Arkansas. And this time they made sure to name the workers who found it, not shockingly. At first I thought the bird was a common starling known as a European starling in North America and as starling in Great Britain and Ireland. These birds are known for causing the worst nuisance. The reason why they are present in Canada and the US is because someone brought it from somewhere else, which led to these birds killing or evicting native birds that are regarded as an invasive species. However, in the illustration, the bird didn't speckle with white, which means it might be a purple starling, which is an African species, also named purple glossy starling, so native to Africa. These birds don't migrate and can be found in the continent of Africa all year round. So I guess these African birds were forcefully brought to America to stay. I will not be surprised if she's going to turn the movie based on the 3-act album she's currently working on, or it is already complete in a vault, into a play for Broadway and the West End, because she has divided her albums just how most plays are structured. Thanks to the people in charge of the ads, Beyoncé made her perspective an integral part of the brand Levi's. Their storytelling was done in a way that makes whoever is watching it want to seek knowledge in what the ads are trying to say.